We've got your top sports stories heading into the weekend. Thanks for joining us. Here's what's in store for today. Today on Cronkite Sports Now, an update on the Mountain Pointe coaching scandal. Women's hockey on the rise in the Valley. And local reactions to California's new Fair Pay to Play Act. These stories and more coming your way on Cronkite Sports Now. Happy Friday, everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's edition of Cronkite Sports Now. I'm Stephanie Bates. Our big story this afternoon is continuing coverage of the Mountain Pointe High School scandal, as head coach Rich Welbrock spoke to the media for the first time since it was revealed that assistant coach Justin Hager was sharing confidential information. Hager was a teacher, a football assistant coach, and the head girls basketball coach. But for 3 years, he was sending game plans, strategies, and injury information to opponents. The Tempe Union High School District discovered this a month ago and officially fired him on Wednesday, which Welbrock hopes can finally help the Pride put this betrayal behind them.
There's no playbook for this. It's one of those things that we've talked to our kids. We've stepped certain kids away to see how they're feeling about it. But the biggest thing is it's just adversity. And how do we fight through that? And you know, one of the things I've always said, even after a tough loss, if this is the worst thing that happens in our lives, we're going to be fine.
Hager has 10 days to appeal his firing. While his motive is still unknown at this time, Mountain Pointe is moving on and will play its first home game since the story went public tonight at 7 p.m. against Highland High School. As the Cardinals gear up for Sunday's road game against the Bengals, the Seattle Seahawks took a moment of silence to honor Bill Bidwell before last night's game. The Cardinals tweeted this shot from CenturyLink Field and thanked their division foes for the kind gesture of remembrance of Mr. B. Making our way to the ice, the Coyotes dropped their season opener last night, falling to the Ducks 2-1. Yotes coach Rick Tocchet was disappointed with the team's performance.
I thought we were okay defensively. Obviously, we got to score goals. We had some chances. We had some good possession time, but it was sloppy. Too many giveaways by a couple individuals. I didn't like 3 or 4 guys' game. It's the first game, but we had a lot of possession. Things were going good, and then we started getting cute, and we got to stop that.
The Yotes will look to be less cute and more committed to the fundamentals as they try to bounce back on home ice tomorrow night. Puck drops at 6 o'clock at Gila River Arena. As the Yotes get set for their home opener, Cronkite News reporter Nick White tells us about the growth of women's hockey here in the Valley.
As the growth of women's sports has been a big story of the year so far, as the U.S. women's national soccer team won their 2nd consecutive World Cup title this summer, a lot of people think the next big growth will be on the ice. 5 years ago, former Olympian Lindsey Fry took over as the women's hockey ambassador. Since then, she has spearheaded a movement that is unmatched. But her long-term goals are very simple.
Our big thing is, and our mission is, we want to make sure that all girls in the state of Arizona have the opportunity to play with other girls like them, if that's what they want to do. And it's something that I didn't really have. I didn't have an opportunity to play with other girls at the same skill level, at the same age group when I was growing up, and I wish I had. So for me, it's less about how do we get the next Arizona player to the Olympics, and more about how do we just get Arizona girls who play hockey to whatever level it is that they want to get to.
The reason that there is enough girls to fill the teams is because the growth has gone from 301 females in 2012 to 764 last year. And oh, by the way, the number of teams has tripled, going from 3 to now 9.
Something that has happened a lot in the past is they just kind of play against boys teams, and maybe we'll go and play against girls every once in a while. Especially for our older teams where puberty kicks in, playing against the boys doesn't really make sense anymore.
One player who is enjoying the growth is 16 and under Kachina's player Piper Preem.
When I'm in school, all I can think about is how I can't wait to get out and go play hockey. I grew up in Minnesota, and a lot of girls play hockey there, and moving to a state where there's not that much hockey, and especially not that much girls hockey, made me kind of sad. The fact that there are more girls playing hockey now is really cool.
And now that girls can play other girls, the script has been flipped. And this is a movement the Arizona Coyotes have backed for years.
That's one of the things that I'm the most proud of. It really is. I mean, something that's central to our organization is promoting inclusivity and getting girls excited about playing hockey. I take tremendous pride in that, as does everybody working for our team.
Our Little Howlers program is intended for kids 5 to 9. That's our first touch with the kids. We do a try hockey free for kids 4 to 9. We're starting to add more of those. USA Hockey has 2 a year, and we want to do more than that because we want to be able to help give kids an opportunity to taste hockey just a little bit before seeing what Little Howlers is all about.
So whether you have never played hockey before or have been on the ice for years, the opportunity for women's hockey will continue to grow. A fun fact, not only did the U.S. women's national soccer team win Olympic gold, but the U.S. women's national hockey team also won Olympic gold when they defeated Canada 3-2 in last year's Olympic Games. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Nick White.
On Monday, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a law into existence allowing college athletes to benefit off their likeness. This has caused a stir across the country, including right here in Arizona. Cronkite News reporter Matthew Roy has reactions from those in the Valley of the Sun.
Arizona State head football coach Herm Edwards said before the pay-to-play bill was signed that it would equate to an unequal playing field.
It'll give the California schools an advantage in recruiting, to be quite honest. I think you're opening Pandora's box.
One key that was said by Newsom and NBA star LeBron James on Monday was that it would help athletes that come from impoverished areas to make some money while also getting their education, and Edwards agrees.
And for a lot of these young men or women that are student athletes, according to where they come from, that's important to them. You know, I can make extra money. I get extra benefits.
However, for current college athletes like ASU running back Eno Benjamin, he isn't really concerned with this law much because, well, it won't really affect him.
Really, I'm sort of indifferent. I see the sides, I see pros and I see cons, and so that's not for me to decide.
But many have been saying,
it's going to change college football, big time.
But Victoria Jackson, a former ASU national champion track and field star and now sports historian and ASU professor, has different thoughts.
You know, there's a lot of concerns and fear-mongering that the whole thing is going to change fundamentally, but I don't think it's going to change all that much.
There have been statements this week from both the NCAA and the Pac-12 conference on the signing of this bill, but this line from the Pac-12 on how it will adversely affect women's sports has Jackson up in arms.
If they cared about women's sports, they'd be doing more to encourage women to stay in coaching. If they cared about women's sports, they wouldn't count men who practice with women's teams as women for Title IX compliance. I mean, it's just so tired. It's disingenuous, and it's really frustrating.
Legislation is continuously being discussed nationwide, and Jackson thinks something will get done before the California bill takes effect in 2023. Well, that does it for today's edition of Cronkite Sports Now. For Arizona sports stories from around the Valley, visit the Cronkite Sports tab on arizonasports.com. And as always, for top Arizona news stories, head over to our website at cronkitenews.azpbs.org. And be sure to tune in tonight at 5 p.m. on Arizona PBS for our nightly newscast. On behalf of the entire Cronkite Sports Now crew, thanks for watching and have a great weekend. We'll see you back here Monday, same time, same place.